series is closing that gap, getting in tight to your opponent, getting into the clinch from out in the open. I can't just walk in and get into the clinch. I don't want to do that because he might hit me. Okay, closing that gap from, we're in our fighting stance here. He throws a jab, always move your head, grab his wrist. I'm always grabbing the wrist with my fingers on the inside. It's real important for when I come in tight, I just let go of that wrist, come right into an underhook. Okay, and that's where I can start controlling my opponent more. Okay, right here, come right in, nice and tight. Okay, if he throws a two-punch combination here, I'm going to get them both and move them across, come in. I want to control these wrists. Okay, he's going to be trying to pull his hands back when he's punching. Okay, and I'm just going to follow those in. Come into an underhook. Okay, so again, reaching for those hands. Okay, if you only want to catch one hand, keep your other hand up there. So he might hit me, but it's not going to do much. Now I'm going to come into here. I wanted to stress one point when we're up here in our boxing stance. A lot of times when the guy jabs, usually a boxer or me in mixed martial arts, I'm just going to pat his jab a little bit. And this is almost the same motion as patting the jab, except for I'm going to move and I'm going to hold on to his hand, okay, or his wrist. Instead of just patting it and letting go, okay, I'm going to grab it and come right on into the underhook. Okay, same thing with the other side. Okay, I might block it and come back down. Okay, block and come down. Okay, or block with this hand. And I'm going to reach with the other hand. Okay, if he throws both of them, okay, I might block with one and hold the other. Okay, and then I might come back in. You just need to work on it, work on your timing. It is a big timing move. It's going to take a lot of practice to get used to doing that. You can't be afraid to take a little punch here and there, but if you got a good defense up, that punch won't do a whole lot. Next, we're going to go over working from getting into the clinch from my strikes. Okay, I'm going to put him on the defense now. I'm going to punch, maybe either just follow my jab in, and as I jab, I'm going to start reaching for his hand. Okay, he's not really going to throw that overhand right off the bat if my hand's in the way. Okay, and I want to reach to control his wrist. I'm going to jab, reach to control that wrist. Again, fingers are on the inside, and I'm going to circle it right into an underhook. And this side, I can go right into a collar tie. Okay, so off my jab, reach for that wrist, coming in here. Okay, I can throw two punches and follow in. Boom, boom, and now I'm going to follow it in, get in tight. Reach for his wrist, always control those hands. Okay. I'm reaching for whatever wrist he's blocking. A lot of guys just block differently. His hands might not be there. Okay, so you can't get used to grabbing it all in the same place. When you're practicing this, a lot of guys just won't defend the same way. So whenever you got a wrist right there, grab it and move in. Okay, and it works really well. Boom, come in. Get the guy on the defense a little bit. He's not really going to be punching you. He might be moving backwards. Okay, let's start back over here. Okay, I'm probably going to have to come after him a little bit. A couple strikes, boom, boom. I'm going to follow him in and remain adamant about getting that wrist control. Okay, it's real important that you always work to control that wrist and follow him. Okay, even if we go all the way up into the cage or the rings, the rope. Okay, I want to push him up there and stay tight. Okay, my hips are in. Okay, now we're going to start working from within the clinch. We've established getting to that clinch position. Now we're going to go over a few key elements in the clinch. Okay, First one is we're just going to do a little drill that we usually do when we warm up. We call it a pummeling drill. Okay, pummeling, once we've gotten into the clinch, this is pummeling, okay? Getting your underhook and then switching, both guys are doing the same thing. We're both digging to get an underhook on this side. And a lot of times it's not that easy in a fight or in a match. So we kind of simulate a little bit more action, a little more movement. We usually don't open up space right here. We keep our elbows in. We don't let the guy pummel in real easy, make him work for it. And we move our legs a little bit more too. We want to get the guy a little bit off balance when we're working here. We're still pummeling, but we're getting him a little bit more off balance. And it's a little bit better when you simulate this for in a fight. Okay. We want to always work to try and get our underhook, and this underhook is a control position. We also want to get the guy off balance. Okay. And in doing that, that opens up a lot of different moves that we're going to be doing. Okay, so that pummeling drill, we'd usually do at the beginning of practice. We might loosen each other up a little bit. Okay, pummeling the other way, lock up a little bit. Okay, and then we'll start doing a little bit harder. Okay, and then we're going to start doing moves from there. And that's a real good way to warm up, get everything moving. So the next important aspect about being in this clinch, okay, if we've got our underhook, I don't want to have my hips way out. Okay, if my hips are out, I'm open to get kneed. Okay. So if my hips are in, it's a lot harder for him to knee me. And I don't have to really worry about getting taken down right here. My hips are in, controlling this underhook, controlling this other wrist. There's not a whole lot he can do. And I can back him up into the fence or the ropes and start working on kneeing him. Okay? So it's real important to have your hips in. Another reason to have your hips in is I can be a lot more offensive from in here. If my hips are out, I've got farther to go to do moves to him. Okay? Now I got to come in with my hips, and he might be blocking me. So I want to always keep my hips in. Now I'm a lot tighter to do some of my other techniques that we're going to go over. Okay? The first one of the techniques that I'm going to show is just establishing a good underhook. Okay? We've already established that this is an underhook, but a lot of guys don't really understand when they get an underhook. They might just put their arm in here and say that's good enough. What you really want to do when you get this underhook is reach all the way over and grab his muscle right up here on his shoulder. Okay, and I keep his arm in the bend of my arm. Okay, right here. When I grab this, and all I'm going to do is suck it in nice and tight, right here, and it controls real well. And a lot of times, the guy might not like that position. He might try and get his arm out. Okay, it might come out real easy, but all I have to do to stop that is just put my head over on that side a little bit, and that'll block everything. I might put my chin or my face on my hand, and now when he tries to get his arm out, okay, it stays in there real well. If I feel him starting to get his arm out, I'll put my head over there. Now I got it controlled again. I'm always blocking the far side. My hips are in. Again, this underhook, it's real important to keep it nice and tight. It's a lot better than just relaxing with an underhook. Okay, a lot more control of your opponent. Okay, and just the opposite of that, the overhook. Okay, overhook is also another good point in the clinch. He might have the underhook, or we might be in over and under position. Now, my other side is this over. Okay, I don't want to just relax and let him control my shoulder. If he's got a good control on it, okay, I want to get this back. Okay, I want to stretch him out a little bit. I might put my hand here. See what I just did to move that out. Okay, now I might reach in and hook him, depending on what I want to do. Okay, this overhook is a really good move to control the guy as well. Okay, but you don't want to give him too much control with his underhook. Okay, the next one that I'm going to go over is when I do have this overhook, and he's got a nice tight underhook on me, I kind of want to be able to get out of this sometimes. I don't want to stay in this overhook all the time. I might want to change it to an underhook or just clear this position. Okay, one nice and easy way to do that is take my other hand that's controlling here and pop him right in the chest. And as I do that, I'm going to just, we call it swimming. Swim my arm all the way over. Okay, I want to go all the way up by my ear with my arm, and I can circle all the way into my own underhook if I want to. Okay, so I bump here to get a little bit of space so I can do that. Right here, just nice easy pop. Okay, go ahead and hold it a little tighter. Just right here, nice and easy. I want to control this, but I'll let go for a second to pop, and then I'll go right back to it. Okay, we call that clearing that underhook. Okay, when the guy, maybe he's got you out of position a little bit, he's got a really good underhook, okay, I'm just going to clear that right there. Okay, I want to spend a couple minutes working on a little bit of leg positioning, foot position when you're inside the clinch. I think that's real important, not just the upper body, but you want to have a good base and you don't want to be off balance in here. Okay, it's real important to almost control this middle zone. When I have one leg a little bit in the middle, it kind of controls his hips and it limits what he can do to me. Okay, so I'm either going to have one leg in, stay nice and tight to him when we're chest to chest, or if I have an angle on him, okay, I might step outside and behind him a little bit. And again, I'm staying nice and square. I'm not leaning over. I'm not walking my feet behind him. I'm staying right over top my feet and my hips. Okay? But I would suggest starting off, always trying to put your foot right inside of his instep. And that's kind of a control position. I'm blocking his leg. And we're going to go over a few knee bumps that I like to do, and it sets up a lot of snap downs that I do. Okay, so if I'm controlling this position with my foot, my knee is usually right next to his knee. Okay, and all I'm going to do is just bump a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to bend my knee and bump. And as I bump, if I have an underhook, I'm going to snap him down. Okay, right into here. It's a nice move from this clinch. Okay, I can go right into a front headlock, choke, or go right behind him. Okay, I can do that same bump from an overhook. I mentioned that the overhooks are a really good move to do. I can do this same bump from there. Okay, right into a front headlock. Let me switch the angle here. Okay, I might be controlling tight with my overhook. When I go to bump, I want to bring my hand out and bump him on the shoulder blade with my hand. Okay, it bends him over nice and good right here. Okay, and I don't have to go to his head. I can come to an arm drag and go behind him. It opens up a lot of stuff when the guy's off balance. So again, in here, knee bump. I can go directly to some strikes. Okay, I can do the same knee bump from double underhooks. Okay, right in here, double underhooks. I let go of one underhook and come to the head. There's lots of things you can do, and this knee bump just opens up a lot of things and gets him off balance. Okay, another good leg control position is if I step on the outside. Okay, if he's keeping a good solid base and I'm not really doing much here, I can step on the outside and make him feel that he's off balance. And that'll get him to step out a little bit. Okay, and he gives me a little space when I do that, and that might open up a knee or a knee bump. So foot and leg position and leg fighting in there is real important. Okay, now I just want to touch a little bit more on the double underhook position that I barely touched on. Okay, we're going to do double underhooks. It's just, I got two underhooks. I'm either here, or I have my hands locked. And again, my leg position's real important. I don't want to just stand out here with my butt back. I want to have my hips in, and I want to control. I want to get him off balance. Okay, so I want to control this middle area, but if I want to knock him off balance, I might step just outside his leg and make him step off balance. Okay, that might open up a knee. It might open up a bunch of different takedowns. It's real important not to just push on the guy. Unless I'm real close to the fence or the ropes, I don't want to just push on him. I can move into him, keep my hips in, get him to the edge. Okay, now that I'm over at the edge, I can work a little bit more. Okay, but this is a real good control position. There's not a whole lot your opponent can do to you in here. The only thing that he might possibly do is lock in and get double overhooks on me. Okay, and I don't want to give him space to do that. If he doesn't have them, and my chest is tight to his chest, okay, now it's going to be tough for him to get those locked up. Go ahead and try. Okay. But if I give him a little bit of space, and he does get that, I tend to just kind of give him a little knee bump, unlock my hands, and pull one underhook out. And stay right in here. Maybe come right into a snap down, a knee, or a strike. But I don't want to let him control and try and take me down from here. So I'm going to bump him a little bit, or elevate, and let go and pull one arm out. Right into here.
Hit it!
Now's your chance to go one-on-one with me, Dan Henderson. Just watch my technique series and catch the clue. Next real important aspect that we're going to do from the clinch. We've established the clinch position. We've established a little bit of control from the clinch, different movements from the clinch. Now we're going to put it all together with some various takedowns that I like to do. Okay. The first takedown that I'm going to do, we're going to start with double underhooks, and I call it just a simple twist. It's a fairly simple move, but it takes quite a bit of explosion and good leg position. Okay, let's switch around here. Okay, I got my double underhooks. Okay, from here, I want to step one leg in fairly deep. Not real deep, probably heel to heel here. Okay, and I want to have my hips tight with his hips, and I want to be chest to chest. Okay, I'm going to take him, stepping deep, and just twist him real hard. I'm chest to chest, and I want to explode and look the other direction. Now, I don't want to start with my leg in real deep, okay? I'm starting pretty much square, a little bit in, and when I move, when I do this move, I'm going to step, and I'm going to explode off that step, okay? So we're in here, we might be wrestling around a little bit. I'm going to step in and explode. Now I like to unlock my hands and grab his back when I do this, and almost pull him. Okay? So I step, unlock, and explode. I'm going to try and do it real slow, this first one. Explode this way. Okay. Probably 9 times out of 10, I'm going to end up on the side like that, nice and tight. Okay, I'm going to do this one a little quicker. Step. Right here, good side position. Now we're going to take that same technique, that same motion. Instead of having double unders, I'm going to go over and under, which is one underhook and one overhook. Okay, let's spin around here. Okay. Now my underhook hand, that's the hand that's still going to be pulling. Okay. I'm going to pull hard with that hand. Okay. I'm still going to step in pretty deep and use that as an explosive step. Now my overhook hand, it's not just going to sit here. It needs to push as well. So I'm going to push and hit him, usually right in this area, or if his elbow's out, sometimes I might hit him here. Well, sometimes I catch him as he's pummeling in for another. I'm going to hit him right here. Okay. This is a real simple move. Takes a little bit of time. You got to get used to where the guy's weight is. Okay, if he's got all his weight on this side, it's going to be hard for me to move him the other way. So we kind of got to move him a little bit. Okay. What I'm going to do is step in, pull. I'm going to do it real slow. Step in, explode, pull, turn all the way and look the other way. Fall down right on the side. Key to this chest to chest. Okay, I can't put my chest and control him. Okay, he's going to beat me. He's got better balance here. I've got more power if I use my body, stay chest, and turn him with that. And as I'm turning around to look the other direction, he's going with me. And the finish to this move, once I step in and turn, I can't turn any farther. I'm just going to step out and fall right on top of his chest. Okay, so one more time, a little quicker. I'm going to step in, hit him, right in here. And right when I land, the guy has a decent position here with this underhook. I want to try and keep this nice and tight, pin it to his body, and establish a good position on his head. Okay, I don't want to stay loose, have him throw this by, and have him lose the position. You did a great move getting there. You need to control right when you get to the ground. Take catch is probably one of my favorite. I do it in almost every fight. I've got it a lot, and it's a great takedown to do. You control your opponent real well, end up in a great position. Okay, and you don't get yourself out of position, and that's one of the things about a lot of my moves is I like to do moves that don't get me in trouble, and this one definitely keeps you out of trouble. If I miss it, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, I'm going to start in over and under position. Got my over and under, and we're moving in here, and I'm going to usually try and get him to step up a little tighter to me with my overhook side. Okay, so I'm going to circle him a little bit towards me, and as I do that, I'm going to lock my hands. Unless I already have my hands locked, I'm still going to circle him to me. But either way, I'm going to end up with my hands locked right into here. Take a little step back. Okay. Once I get to this position, I'm going to take a big step all the way around him and plant my foot on the ground. I don't want to leave my foot up in the air where I'm off balance and hook his leg. Okay, I'm going to step all the way around, and I'm going to turn my foot at an angle. Not completely sideways to him, and not completely straight forward. Probably at about a 45-degree angle. Right in here. Okay? And I'm going to put all my weight on that leg. Okay, so again, starting from here, circle them a little bit, lock my hands and step. Okay, right here, and put all my weight right there. And after I feel that I have him beat, all my weight's on my leg and this leg of his. Leaning down, I'm going to take my other leg and clear it from his legs, right back here. So I'm going to step almost behind my legs. Now I'm just going to go down to my knee, and you want to keep your hands locked if you can, because it hurts when he lands. Right in here. And I want to stay right in this position. Okay. And if you unlock your hand, you're still in a great position right here. So again, setting him up a little bit for this move. I'm going to circle him, step. Okay, keep your hands locked if you can. And once you unlock your hands, Move right into an underhook on the far side. Control. Okay. And again, it's real important to take a big step and plant my weight. One of the biggest mistakes I see people do when they try this is they stop and they leave their body and their weight square or their head on the other side. They just take a big step. Okay, now I have no weight over here. I've got no power and I'm off balance. Okay, that's why when I go, I want to move his body and get him off balance. And I want him to carry my weight right here. The great thing with this move, you can do it to either side, either the overhook side or underhook side. Preferably, I always try to the overhook side, which is the side that I have my arm trapped. Okay, because when we land on the ground, I've got an underhook on the far side. Okay, if I did it the other way, I'll land with him having an underhook on the far side, which a lot of times you got to really be careful trying to control him from here. He's got a better position, but I still have him taken down. So let me show you from the other direction, the other side. Okay, let's try it here. Okay, now I'm to the underhook side. Usually, like I said, I prefer to go to the overhook side. So I'll step and try and get it here. If I don't get leg right, he steps out, and that opens up going to the other side, right here. And again, stay nice and tight right here once I land. Get in here, control the head. A lot of times I'll go right into my headlock. Okay? Or control his head and pummel back in. Okay, I'm going to do this a little faster. And if Nathan steps out one time, I might go to the other side. Okay. Staying in tight, control, pummel in. Okay, one more time faster. Okay. Nice and tight. Occasionally in a fight, I might even add a little bit of explosive hip hop. Okay, and I can kind of sometimes when I get the step and I get my leg, but I'm not able to get all my weight on them, I might have to explode and lift a little bit. Okay, so it's almost like a throw some of the time. So when I do this, I might step, and if I don't get it right, I might have to lean a little bit and pop my hips to explode a little bit. And again, stay tight. Next move that we're going to do is a pinch headlock. Okay, we start with an underhook, nice deep underhook, the way I showed you guys. Okay, right here. And I like to control this other side. If I'm in real tight, I'm holding him in so he can't hit me. Okay, if I'm in a little looser, I'm blocking so he can't hit me. And again, my hips are always in, my foot's controlling this inside space. Okay, and a lot of times the opponent's going to have his head in tight. Okay, maybe I'll hit him a couple times to put his head in tight. All right, from there I'm going to take my free hand, the one that's blocking, put it right on his collarbone. And it's important that you put this hand always palm up. Okay, and I'm going to lock my hands. I lock my hands like this. I can also lock like this, but this one I found is a much better lock. Okay, and when I lock my hands, I let go of this nice deep underhook, reach up, lock my hands. And I want my lock right over on this side of them. Okay, and once I get in here, I'm controlling this space. I want to pinch it tight, use my head to keep everything nice and tight right in here. Okay, and now the next motion I'm going to do is I'm going to take my elbow and bend right, pull it right towards my hip. And I want to pull his body with me, keep him tight to my chest. right in here. I just want to crunch him over. And as I do that, my foot that's on the inside is just going to pivot and point away from his body, the direction that he's going. I'm just going to crunch him down and circle all the way down. And I want to end up on the side of him. If I don't do it quite right and don't pivot my foot right, I'm going to end up in his half guard, possibly even his guard. Okay, so from in here, reach up, pinch it in tight, and I'm down. Again, nice underhook, controlling this free arm, foot's in deep, reach up, lock my hands, crunch him down, keep him tight to my chest, and just pivot. Right here. I want to try and make my hips and my butt hit the ground right about the same time he is. I don't want to land on top of him. I want to make sure I'm on the ground. Okay, I'm tightening the ball. My feet didn't move a whole lot. And again, I want to try and pull this up. Stay into this position. Okay. Next move that I'm going to show is real similar to that. Just a little different method of grabbing his head. Okay, usually if his head is over here, I'm going to do the one I just showed you. But sometimes the opponent's got his head way over here. Okay, when I do that, or when his head's there, still keeping stepped in here, got my deep underhook, I'm going to reach all the way over his head and almost touch his ear on the other side. And I'm going to pull it tight to my chest. And as I do that, it turns his face a little bit towards me. At the same time, I'm going to throw his shoulder by and over his head, right here. And it's real important to keep his head tight to your chest. And now his shoulder's right next to my armpit, and I'm going to reach and put my forearm right on his neck below my hand, right here. Now I'm going to let go of his head and grab my wrist. Everything's staying nice and tight. And this is a really tight move. And I can almost tap him out from right here by just squeezing. It's real uncomfortable. Now to finish, I'm just going to do the same way. Sit right down with him. Once I get down to the mat with that, I'll usually let go and can get into a nice controlled position. It's not really any submissions that I'm going to finish from right there. Again, underhook. His head's in here. Just going to reach up, pull, throw it by, and lock my hand. Okay, and I'm in a nice squatted position. Sometimes I can even just squeeze, and I won't even go to the mat, and the guy will tap out. Okay, well, I'll go down, end up in a nice takedown position. Okay, both those are really solid takedowns, and if I miss it, I'm not in bad position. If I miss this one, his head might pop out, and I'm right back in here. Okay, if I miss the second one, it's usually because I don't have his head real well. Okay, and I'm still in good position. It's not a move that I'm getting out of position where I can get in trouble. For this next move I'm going to do, still from this underhook in the clinch here, I call it a cross knee pick. All I'm going to do is kind of circle my opponent over, pick his knee, and run him down, throw him by. And usually I'll end up right in a nice side mount position. Okay? So from this nice tight underhook, we might be moving around a little bit, but I want to circle him, either pulling this arm, pulling his shoulder, pulling his elbow. I want to make him step right here. And as I do that, I'm going to change levels a little bit. And I'm going to make sure my legs are split, and my leg that's next to his leg is out in front. Okay, I don't want to be like this. So when I take a step back, I want to make sure that I'm here. So I might do a little split hop step here. Now, pick his knee, not up here at the thigh, and I don't want to go all the way down to his ankle where I'm reaching a little too far. Just right at the knee is fine. And now I don't want to run that direction, run sideways, so I'll slide off his arm here. Okay? And now we're into a scramble. I want to run through his body. Okay, when I'm here, I want to run through his body and just block his legs so he can't step. And walk all the way around him. Right here. Okay. This move works real well, especially when you blow through his body. Again, I'm going to take a step. I'm already changing levels, blocking that knee, and I'm going to walk my legs around. Like, if you notice, I kept my hand on the knee until my legs cleared past, even all the way down to the ground. Okay. A little bit faster. Here. Always stay nice and tight. And again, that common mistake is to go a little bit wrong angle. Okay, if he's pretty solid and hard to take, I'm going to try this wrong angle, he's going to end up on top. So, always try and power through him. And usually, if I don't get this, it's because he's out and he's kind of strong. Still in my underhook position. Let's try a little bit different angle on this. Okay, I'm right in here. I'm going to step, change levels, block, and walk through him. Right here. Nice and tight. It's a real explosive move. It's a moving thing. As I stand, I'm changing levels. Okay, this next we're going to do, I call it an outside duck. Okay, I'm also going to show a duck under. Regular duck under, I'm going to be going, changing my levels and putting my head in through this way. Okay, an outside duck, I'm going to be putting my head from the outside to the inside. Okay, they both work real well. The outside duck is one of my specialty moves. Not a whole lot of people do it, and it works well to set up different takedowns or maybe even a submission. Okay, I start out with a deep underhook, controlling his far wrist, and again I'm stepping in the middle, controlling that middle space. And I might even give him a little knee bump on this one, get him to bump over, bend over a little bit. Now I'm going to take my hand that's on his shoulder and slide it down towards his tricep. And as I do that, I point my elbow straight to the mat and I start walking backwards. Okay, I'm trying to get a little bit more space right in here, and I want to bend over just a little bit. Okay, so if we're wrestling around, I might bump him, hop backwards, change levels, put my head right in here, and I'm going to catch his arm just right here. And then my head comes right back up. And in some instances, if I catch his arm just right, I can pull down on it with my head up, and it's a good little submission. And if it turns the other way, I'm just going to pop my head out and go behind. I can dump him from there. Okay, so again, a little bit. Step in the middle, bump, pop back, right in here. Okay. You know, let's get a different angle. Okay, again, from this underhook, controlling this far wrist, step in the middle, give him a little knee bump, helps bend him over. Okay, and as I do that, slide down to his tricep, walking backwards. Right in here. Okay, and my elbow is pointing straight down to the mat, and I might take 2 or 3 steps backwards. And I'm going to slide my neck right down to by my hand, right in here. Okay, now I'm going to dip my head inside and then back up. I'm going to change levels, now back up. Okay, and if I can get a submission in here, that's great. If I can't, controlling his far hip, take my head out. Now to get my head out, I'm taking my shoulder and popping him forward and pulling my head out. Okay? And just a little bump with my shoulder. Helps clear my head. And if I can, I want to keep this arm trapped when I pull my head out. Okay. Lock around with his arm right here. And there's a number of takedowns to do. Pick him up and dump him. Okay, again. Right in here. Change level. Okay. A lot of times with this move, the guy will be really off balance and he'll fall down to the mat trying to pull guard. Okay? Especially when I do it quick. A lot of times, once I start getting him behind him, he might try and pull guard a little bit, fall to the ground. Okay, but usually I'll be behind him already. And I just keep a hold hip and circle my legs all the way around him. Just like that. Okay, another time, a little bit quicker, just get a different angle. Okay. Bump. So it's important to keep a hold of his far hip. Okay, even if he tries to pull guard at the last minute, you still have good control on his hips. So now we're going to right into the other duck. So I'm going to change levels and duck under. I can actually duck under either side. If I got an underhook, I can take a little step back, lift up on his arm, and duck under this side. When I do this, usually he's pushing into me a little bit. I'm just going to change levels and duck and go right behind him. Sometimes right up to his head, duck, reach right around his neck, and get a nice choke from here. Usually take him down to the mat. End up in a nice judo choke. Okay, so I use both of them pretty effective. Okay, from my underhook. Okay, all I want to do is get him to push in on me a little bit. I'm going to take a little step back, change levels, duck my head under, and elevate his arm. Okay, and if I want to try and trap his head, I'm reaching up towards his neck. If I want to just go behind, I'm just going to keep control of this wrist right here. Okay, if I want to go for the choke, I'm going to reach up towards his head, and I want to get elbow deep right around his neck, right here. And then grab my bicep. I want to stand up tall with this. Once I get here, I'm just going to block his leg. Right down to the mat in a submission. Okay, now I can still duck the far side. Okay, if I got good control of this, I might pull him a little sideways. And with this, instead of stepping on the inside, I might step right out here, pull him a little bit, and he might step out. That's when I'm going to duck under this other side. Okay? And I'll usually just duck under and stay right here, tight, chest to chest. I've got his legs almost twisted here. Just step to the side. Kind of set my knee block that I did. Okay? I can also duck in, go all the way around him. Okay? Just finish with your head a little bit more. A little different angle. Move him a little bit. Open it up. So I move him over with my head. Always using your head. That's why I got these ears. Cauliflower ears. Okay. So I got either duck right here. That way. We'll move him. And duck. All the way around him. Okay, those, I know I've used a duck under in a couple fights and it's well. Ended up in a nice takedown. So it's a great move to learn. Okay, next we're gonna go into the next important aspect of the clinch. It's real important to learn how to strike from there. You got a good controlled position. We've learned how to move the guy around a little bit and get him off balance. And now let's incorporate our strikes in it. Okay. From our underhook, we've got a nice strike with a knee to the ribs. And I like to, if we're in tight, we'll spin around here. I like to strike to my underhook side a lot of times. When I do that, my knee's gonna come out a little bit and then in, okay? And if I can, I wanna get him right in the short ribs. Boom. I take a little hop sometimes, right in here. Stay chest to chest. Another real good one from in here, just a single underhook, is knee into the thighs, either inside or outside. Those work really well if you get them up against the cage or the ring. Knee them in here. Okay, inside and outside. I'm blocking almost the whole time. Now if we get in real tight, where we're in here, I can still get my underhook side, okay, but usually I'm a little lower with that. Maybe down towards his hip. His legs are always open, okay? You gotta be careful sometimes when you throw a real high knee. You don't wanna have him catch your leg and take you down, okay? And either side he can do that. If I do this side, he can catch my leg if I go up too high. So you want to make him nice and quick. Try and pinch his arm a little before you do it. Quick and hard. Okay? These aren't going to usually knock a guy out, but they are real annoying and they score points. Okay? And they might wear a guy's leg down. Okay? Right in here. Another nice move to open things up. We do a lot in our team. Team Quest does this quite a bit, is use a shoulder. Okay, usually when you're right in here, his chin's just sitting right on top of your shoulder. I'm gonna give a nice up move with my shoulder. Boom. Or if I'm out here a little bit, I might use my shoulder right into his face, right in here, and then throw a knee. That might get him to put his head up a little bit. I can throw a hook. Okay, we do a lot of that shoulder to a strike. Elbows, they work great for him in the clinch. Okay. Another from the collar tie up in this clinch. Okay. I do a lot of uppercuts from here and hooks. If I start to do an uppercut, he blocks that. I'll change it over to a hook. And he moves that back to an uppercut. If he starts crowding me or moving, I might switch. Lots of strikes from this collar tie-up. I can stay in tight. I like to keep him off balance with this. Pushing and pulling. Boom. Push him up against the cage. Hit him. Shoulders, knees, elbows. They all work real well. Another really good one that I like to do when you got an overhook, and we went over clearing the overhook. Real good one, if you can elbow to the face or head, is the elbow on your way over. Instead of coming all the way up with your hand, I'm gonna bring my hand down and elbow him right on the way over. I can still get my space with this and just throw that elbow in there. Okay? If he's in real tight, a lot of times that won't work. Get a little space, come over top with that elbow. You can work right into an underhook, knees, elbows, punches. They all work real well, and you need to kind of practice those. Put on some elbow pads, have your training partner hold some pads for you, some Thai pads, work on your elbows, knees, everything from in this clinch. Move them around, get them off balance, especially if you're in this over and under position and your opponent is keeping his hips back. Okay? Your knees are open. A good knee right to the middle, midsection will knock the wind out of him pretty good.